sound on. Transition to the talking screen. And hello, everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you this evening?
Doing okay. I have my phone audio turned off now. Um, yeah, have I been doing anything exciting? Um, Not really. I've been trying to think about um like more things to um talk about because that's like a thing that people just do. Um and but like when I ask people for like help on thinking about things, they're just like, be curious, just ask whatever question you can think of. And it's just sort of like, well, if I could think of anything, I would. um and it's just I don't know. It's been difficult to figure out that aspect of interpersonal interactions. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that or anything interesting you've been doing?
Oh, well, my, you know, communication skills are less than stellar. So,
When you say communication skills, are you referring to?
okay, uh, conversation. That's it. Conversation skills.
Mhm. uh, oops. I've
Cracking the
always.
cryptic.
Yeah. Oh, did that actually? I didn't mean to turn that off. I don't think that played through stream, so that's good. But yeah, it's mostly been a thing that's been on my mind a lot because I've been trying to like deliberately interact with people more, but it's always been kind of just I just don't know what I'm supposed to do when I interact with people, and like I try to pay attention with or to what other people do with conversations, but like they end up talking about like cheese. It's just sort of like, I don't care. Like what am I supposed to do with
Bring
this?
up dragons.
Um I wish um uh I don't know. I guess dragons can be an interesting thing to discuss, but I don't know. It's not a thing that I find a lot of interest in discussing. I will participate in a conversation about dragons more enthusiastically than one about cheese. But let's see. Laura Smith says, "Hello, hello. If you aren't generally very chatty, it can be difficult to have new ideas that promote conversation. I personally don't share much unless I'm asked or excited or asked." And that's like the thing that I feel the exact same way. If there's something I'm excited about, then I'm like, I don't. It's not that difficult to just like go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, I'm really excited about this thing." Um, but it's it's easier when I have a reason to interact with people. Um, uh, Laura Smith says, "Welcome to the introvert club. How do I leave?" Thank you. Uh, um, it is interesting being on stream and being like, I don't have things to talk about. But I don't know. That's why I do Sudoku puzzles and games and stuff. But I know like on Saturdays when I'm playing cooperative games, um, it's a little easier, but it still ends up being a little difficult to talk about stuff. And when I'm playing on Wednesday's single player games, I almost feel like there's no point in having me on screen because I'm not even saying anything. Might as well just be no commentary gameplay. But yeah. Laura Smith says an extrovert adopts you, then you still don't leave. You just get day passes. Is that how the introvert club works? Or uh I I'm erroring on the okay. Laura Smith confirms that the introvert club is a uh, you are adopted by an extrovert and you get day passes to leave. Is that how that works? Um, but yeah, it's d- definitely helpful to be adopted by an extrovert in that regard. Um, but I still end up feeling out of place in a lot of things. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. Any other thoughts on that, Mama?
No.
Cool. Anything interesting that you've been up to you want to share?
I finally got my hanging baskets planted.
Nice. What did you put in them?
Um, there are some, uh, yeah. Um, it's not cascading. What's the word? I can't remember what the word is. But they're snapdragons that get drapey, so they're good on for hanging baskets. Um, some Torinias. Some
Is it trailing?
trailing. Yes, that's the word, trailing. Um, yeah, I can't remember what else I put in there. I got
No.
some chenille plants. Those are interesting. They're fuzzy red. The I guess their blooms are fuzzy red thick things, fuzzy red caterpillar looking things that are kind of fun. So
Cool. And Laura Smith says, we don't chat much. It's quiet and peaceful. And extroverts are great at maintaining that conversational interaction and providing prompts for us introverts. True introverts never leave the club. Yeah. Um, I um, I guess the main reason for why I want to leave the introvert club as it is because trying to interact with um, people and figure out friendship as an adult now that I'm no longer in school for quite some time and out of environments where I interact with people more regularly. It's I don't know. It's been a struggle, and I don't know. It's weird how um, I guess I'm trying to avoid using the word lonely, but that's the word that feels most accurate. How lonely it seems to be outside of the places where I've interacted with people the most. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to be too downer at the beginning of the stream. Um, so yeah. All right. I am ready to get started on some Sudoku puzzles,
yep.
and let's get started. Um, First puzzle for today is Wis Ren Per Ban by Chip Sounder. Get the link into the chat. if anyone wants to give it a go. Normal 7x7's irregular Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 7 once each in every row, column, and region. Digits along a purple Renban line without repeat must form a set of consecutive digits in any order. Adjacent digits along a green line must differ by at least 4. Cells separated by a black dot has one digit double the other, a 1 to 2 ratio, and cells separated by a white dot must be consecutive. Not all dots are necessarily given. Alright, let's get going. Well, one thing I notice is that this cell is that cell, which makes this one that one, and then this one there. This one is going to be that one. And then this one, yellow. I think that's where everything stops.
Does the purple have to be in the purple on the, or could it be where yellow is?
It's because in this row, where can this cell be? It's not here, and it's not
Okay,
green.
yeah, because that's, yeah, okay.
I could have been clearer about that.
I wasn't following the, like, well, wait a minute, it could be there, but I forgot about the,
Just to make sure I'm being clear about this, the how I colored this. So in this row, I need all of the digits, and in this region, I need all of the digits, and all of those are both in this row and in this region. So this one has to be the same, and so now this one, same row and region. I've already got red, so I know those two aren't the same. Those are all the same, and these have to be the final digit. The same thing here, blue is there. So, and then all of these, this one has to be inside of this region, so it's there. And then this one, this has to be inside of this region, it's not there, and it's not green, so it ends up being here. And then here, all of this is in this region, purple is already here, so where does this last one go? It has to go here. I want to do a 7th digit somewhere. But I'm not sure. And I think we can say that all of the colors are different because I've got red in this box somewhere, and we know that red isn't blue or green. So red and blue and green are all unique. Now purple. Could purple be blue? I think that's possible.
just like yellow could be red.
Yeah. Yeah, Laura Smith
Ah,
confirms that one.
green and blue are on a black Kropke and are
Mm-hmm.
separated by one with two white Kropkes.
Okay. So, um,
It's gonna have to
their
be 2 and
difference
4.
is 2. So it's 2, 4.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Because 1, 2, there's nothing in between. 3 and 6, there would have to be 2 in between, and 4 and 8 there'd be. So yeah. Now 4 cannot go on the green or on the whisper line.
Let's see, because this is a 1 through 7. Adjacent
1 through
digits
7.
differ by
Yeah.
4. But yeah, okay. 4 can't go on the line, so that's 2, 4, 4, and 2. And so that makes this 6 or 7. And then 1, 2, or 3. Well, 2, obviously. And these can go 2 below 4. So that would be 2, 3. or 2 above, 5, 6. Now 2 is obviously in the row, so can't do that. So we know there's a 5 on one of these. Now there's no 4, so 4 has to be one of these 3. But it can't be yellow, so 4 is one of those 2. Laura Smith says 4 in row 4, and since it's not on the Renban, it's not on the Whisper line, and it can't be right below a 4, there gives us another blue digit. And I think purple and blue was one of the ones that we thought might be the same, or more accurately,
No, we knew blue and purple can't be the same because they. Oh, maybe we didn't.
yeah, it's
Never
just
mind.
they didn't line up, but now we know
Right.
for sure they do. Or more accurately, they conflict. I think that's clearer.
Yeah, and we know purple is 6 or 7.
Right. One, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so this 1, 2, or 3. 1
5,
plus
6,
4 is
7.
5. Then 1, 2, 3 again. Laura Smith says 4 in box 6 is on the dot because it can't be here, here, or on the Whisper line. So it's got to be here. And this would be 2 or 8, but this is a 1 through 7 puzzle, so we don't have an 8. So there's a 2, which makes these go down to 1 at minimum. So a 3 is required, but it can't be 1 and 3. So this is going to have to be a 3, 4 pair. I'm going to get a 1 here. Okay. This one can't be a 3, because if it was, then 3 plus 4 is 7 on both sides. That's not allowed. And then this one can't be a 5, because 5 minus 4 would be a 1 on both sides. That gives us a 6, 7 pair, which is going to align here. So then these two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but 7 and 6 are not allowed. This one, not a 4, because the digit below it. And Level underscore YT says hi. Hi, Blevel. How are you doing today? Laura Smith says 4 in row 1 is in column 3 because this 4 looks there, this one there, this one there. The 4's in these 2 spots. Take out those 2. And how did we get it out of this one?
Well, if you look for rows, where the 4s can be in boxes or 5 and 7.
These 2.
Yes.
So we don't have 1 here. So this column and here. The 4 here takes it out of this, and then it has to be 4s in here. And so that one's removed, and then that one. And Laura Smith says 4 in box 7 has 2 places that align with 4s above it. Oh, I guess not there. So yeah, X-Wing. A proper X-Wing.
Oh, row 3, you can place the 1 because the Renban is 5, 6, and 7.
Well, if this is a low digit, 1, 2, and 3 actually looks at it. So this is actually a high digit. And so this is a low digit, not a 1. So that means this isn't a 5. Actually, this one is 5, 6, and 7, because that's all that's left in the column. Laura Smith says that yellow isn't 2 or 3, because what's right here? And Laura Smith says red and green are different, so red is 3. That is very true. That's going to give us a 7 in row 2 as well. 3's not there. Do I have a... I do have a 2. Just 3, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, this whisper line has to have a high digit, which would be 5, 6, or 7. That's one of them. Let's say it's the top one. Then it's going to align with this 6 or 7, and that's 5, 6, or 7, and make this one a 3, which means this one's a 5. So that makes yellow 1, a 2 here, a 3 there, 7, 6, 4, 3, 5, 6, not a 7 here or there. And then 3s are red, 2s are green, 4s are blue, and 1s are yellow. Red, yellow,
Well,
blue,
that means
green,
the
purple,
that last
red. Oh,
whisper, the whisper
mm-hmm.
that's in column 3.
2, 3. Got a 1 there.
Yeah, but it's not definitely the height on the top though, was it?
Oh, right. That is true. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6,
One
7. So 1, 3, 2, 3. Neither is a
can't be
7.
7. Yeah.
And the bottom can't be a 5. Okay. Laura Smith said 1 and 2 left in column 3.
Right, because the
And we
virtual
know the
5,
order.
6 between.
Yeah, I think this one's just a 1, 2.
Yeah, it
But yeah,
is.
but because I didn't remove this correctly after I did the logic of the high digit on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 can be placed. The last 4 can be placed. It's in row 6, column 6.
Oh, right here. Blue. One of these is 5, and the other is 6, and this one's a 7.
The final 3 should be able to be placed.
3 here. What's this one? 7.
There are 4 2s.
Oh, I need a 2 in here.
5
This 2,
2s.
that 2 takes it out of there. This one from those 2. So here's a 2. And then that makes this one a 6, a 5, a 1. Yellow. Don't think 5s have colors. The
Yeah,
6s are
that one's not
purple.
a yellow. That's brown.
Oh, yeah, that's orange.
Oh, that's orange. It looks tan on my screen.
They're pretty close together. It's yeah, all of the browns are just dark orange, so it just depends on where you subjectively draw the line between orange and brown.
Yeah.
But Laura Smith says 1 place for the 7 in column 4, which we got. I still need a 2,
Region
which is going to be here.
6
Region 6,
can place a 1.
1, and we need 5 and 7 left over. Laura Smith confirms that. This
Column
needs to
2
be
needs 5 and
6.
7, and that's doable because it's 7 in row 2. I'm sorry, column 1. Yeah.
And then what's left over in here? This one's 7. I still
1 and
need
6.
1 and 6. There we go. just to finish the coloring. I think only 5s and 7s are missing colors. Yeah, it looks like that. Okay. I haven't been hearing any background audio from my sound, so I'm going to turn off listening to myself, and that is so much better. Um, but yeah, this was a fun puzzle. I really liked how the rows interacted and how that sort of cascaded down the puzzle. And um, the way that the dots interacted as well. Um, and and then the rest of the puzzle pretty much just flowed from there. That was a really good one. I like that one. All right, and on to our second puzzle for today. We are going to do No Friends on a Hot Day by Chip Sounder. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row column and 3x3 box. Digits on a thermometer must rise from the bulb end, and digits in a dotted cage, without repeat, sum to the total given in the top left corner of the cage. Cells separated by a black dot has one digit double the other, a 1 to 2 ratio, and all dots are given. I don't see a single dot. So we must not have any dots that are, or any pair of digits.
Well, the 6 cage in box 7
Mm-hmm.
has to be 1, 5 because it cannot be 2, 4 because that would require a dot.
Mm-hmm.
And it cannot be a 5 on the thermobulb because it would put 9 in a 9 cage.
Laura Smith says the 9 cage here cannot be 3, 6. Do I go
They
ahead and list the options? Because it's a lot of them. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8.
Oh, it doesn't
1
list consecutive
and
dots, so
5,
that's not a
4 and 8. But now this one is minimum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 2 and 7. Although, if this was a 5, that would end up being a 4, so that's not going to work, because you'd have 4s here. Well, I guess we could do the same thing with this 9 cage. 3 and 6 isn't allowed, as Laura Smith pointed out earlier, because they would need a black dot to allow that. And then 1 and 8, and then 5 and 4, and then by placement on the thermo, this cannot be a 2. Takes the 7 out of the right side.
and it can't be an 8 on the thermo.
Right, because there's 2 digits after. Now we know that 7 and 10 aren't going to allow for, or we won't need to consider the negative constraint there, because it's only multiples of 3 where you can have one digit double the other, sum up to some target. So 2 and 4 is 6, 3 and 6 is 9, 1 and 2 is 3, and 4 and 8 is 12, and those are the only options we can consider. Laura Smith says, more restricted than we thought. It is definitely way more restricting in these cages. And I'm trying to think
Well,
where
the
else
the
to go.
10 cage in box 6, since 1 is on the tip of the thermo, and it's gonna be minimum 6, so yeah.
Just based on the placement on this thermo, this is
Yeah.
minimum 5, but a 5 to pair with another 5 in the 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is maximum 5. I will go ahead and list it just for funsies, but it's not that restrictive there. But yeah, we just have no double ratios, cages, and thermos. Okay. Well, I know for sure that this isn't a 2, because 1 times 2 is 2. So this is minimum 3, 4, 5, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but this is maximum 8, so 6 isn't allowed. So this is 3 or 4. I guess I should actually work my way upwards, because that will help. 8, 7, 6, 5. Because I already worked my way up. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. But if this is a 3, that cannot be a 6. It would have to be 4 or 5, and then that's where the conflicts would end. But if this is a 4, that can be either. Now we can't have 1 or 2 in either of these positions. But can't put the 1 or 2 here. Laura Smith says 2 in column 1 is in box 1, since the 1 and 2 can't touch, and it can't go in here, so there. It can't go on the higher part of the thermo.
Right.
The other 1 or 2 is in this region. Although it could not go here. Because if that's a 1, then that would be, if it's on the thermo, it would have to go here. You couldn't put a 2 there, because then you would need 2 1s. And if that was a 2, you couldn't put a 1 there, because you can never put a 1 there. So either way, those are the only 2 options for the 1 and 2. I don't think it gets us far enough. So where do we go next? Don't really want to mark these. Well, alright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The second one in the thermo cannot be a 2, because it would have to be next to 1.
And that's going to continue upwards. Okay, 1 through 5. But then this is going to be 3 through 6. Cool. Didn't mean to click that button. 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. Laura Smith says to mark the one in column 3 as well. I should go ahead and do that one. 5, 6, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Not a 5. 7, 8, 9. Do I do this one? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Alright, well, in here, what I should be doing is looking at 2s. Where is the 2? Well, it's not on the higher part of the thermo. 2 isn't 5, and 2 isn't 1, and it can't be next to a 1 because of the negative constraint with the 1 to 2 ratio, which means 2 is one of these two, which makes this a 1. That an 8. That's not a 1. And now our 2's in here have to be in this group. Can't be next to the 1 again, and it can't be on the higher part, so that's forced to be there, which then takes the 2 out from this side of things.
2 can't be next to 4 going down the thermo.
Right.
So 4 in box 4 is going to have to be on the bottom because it can't go next to the 2. Which takes 4's out going across.
Right.
So
Which takes the 6 out of the right side of the 10.
right.
Okay, well, 1 through 4 is all removed. Well, no, 3 is still allowed. Well, do I want to mark this? This would be 1 through 8 normally, but 2 would take out 1 and 4. So, I guess I'm going to mark it anyway, just for funsies, but... Okay. So I know my 1s are here. If 4 is here, we've already got an 8 there. Where can 4s go in here? Well, they're not those, and they're not those. But I don't think 4 is really restricted. I mean, if this 2 is here, then it would place a 4 here, because you'd end up with a 4 there. But if this one's the 2, then you have 4 in all 3 of those positions, and it's less restricting. Oh, somehow, 1, 3, 5 can't go into another 5. Okay. 2's seem to be missing in this group. Because it can't be on the higher part of the thermo. It can't go across the middle. And it's not here, because if that was a 2, that would be a 1, and then those would conflict. And now this one can't be a 2 for the same reason. So 2's are one of these two, making this not a 2 and this not a 5. So then what does that tell me about 1's in this box? It can't be anywhere on a thermo except for the bulb. And it can't be here because it would break both 2's. This one says no over there. So we get 1 as one of those two, but it's not that helpful. But what does knowing that the 2's have to be in column 8 in box 6 tell us about box 3? Well, 2's can't be on the higher part of the thermo. They can't go in column 8, and they can't go here. And so if a 2 has to be in one of these two places,
And you
just
can't
like Laura
put the
Smith
1 on the
says,
bulb now.
correct. So 1 and 6 get removed. And that doesn't really push this forward that much.
No, but it places the 1 in box 3.
As being one of these
Not
two,
necessarily. It would be one of the two, yeah.
but
Which
that does go down into box 6.
places the 1 in box 6. Yeah, that's it.
And then that takes 9 out of the tip of the thermo, which is going to push everything down a step. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. But now 1 has to be one of these two, and neither of those can be 2. So where is 2's in box 5? Well, this 2 says not across the middle. It can't be on this higher part of the thermo, and it can't be next to a 1. So 2's have to go all the way across, and that's actually going to place our 2 in box 6. and then the 8 is going to take it out of there, and then the 7, and then pushes down what this can be. But yeah, an 8 here doesn't push anything down, but it does give us an 8 across here, which takes 4 out as a possibility in the middle cell. Okay, where can we go from here?
But now where can 4 go in box 6? It can't go along the bottom because 4 has to be in the bottom in box 4. It can't be a 1. It can't go above the 2.
And
It
it can't
can't
be
be
above the
above
8.
the 8.
So we go all the way across here.
So now 4 has to be in row 5 in box 5.
Okay. And it can't be
And it
next to
can't
2.
go on the thermo.
And it can't be in the middle of the 8s. So that's a 4, then an 8, then a 9. That doesn't push anything down there. But then 4 can't be next to 2. Row 5 is actually pretty limited. 5, 6, 7, and I think 3 is left. So
Yeah.
this one isn't a 5. Threes and 6s haven't yet been a problem, but they might be soon. Although I'm not sure how I would go about figuring that out. Well, I know these can't be a 3, 6, which means one of them is from 5 and 7, and the same is true over here. So one is from 3 and 6, and the other is from 5 and 7 on both sides. So I guess actually what I want to just ask for this box is where's the 9? It's not across the middle. It's not 8, it's not 2, and this is too small of a place for it to be on a thermo. Same with here and here. So then that makes that a 9. And then we get 9s here, and it actually has to be there for similar reasons. Then this is the only place for a 4 now, so a 3 here. And that is what that looks like. Now we've got our first 3 in the grid, so if I ask about 6s, it's just not 3, 1, 5, or next to the 3. That isn't allowed to be a 6, and that one isn't allowed to be a 6, but that's still 3 spots and they're not even aligned, so maybe not as helpful as I was hoping. Where is my 7s in here? It looks like it's only those two. If that was a 7, you'd have to have 8 and 9, which isn't going to be allowed by that 9, and that 8 also. So that can't be a 7. If this was a 7, you'd have to have 8, 9, and more than 9, which isn't allowed. And if this was a 7, then you'd have to have something in between 7 and 8. So yeah, 7 has to be one of these two, which means it's neither of those. And that gives me 3, 5, and 6 as a triple, placing a 7 here, which is actually going to place quite a bit of things going
And the
down
3 and
for...
6 can't be together in box 4.
Right. 5, 6, 7, going up this way. 5 and 6. Actually, this is just 7 and 3. 3 paired with 4. Right. 1, 5,
Box
6,
7,
7. Box
you've got a
7.
4 in the 9 cage, can't have 2 next to 4.
Right, so that's just going to place that. 6, 8, 9, and 7.
4 can't go
6, 8,
next to 8.
So this one is just a 7, and this one is just a 6. So that one's 9, that one's 8, this one's 8. And then we know what these 3 are and all of that. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and place these. These are
2,
2,
6,
6,
7,
and 7.
3, 4, and 8.
1, 5, 9. 1, 5, 6, and 7. 5 here says no to that. 3 says no to a 6. Eight, 1, 7, and 9. And 4 is gone. This one's not a 5. And then clearly not a 2 here, which we already indicated. Okay. Well, 4 and 8 can't be next to each other, so this is a 3, which can't be next to 6. Laura Smith says in row 7, we have 1, 2, 6, and 9 left over, and then let's get rid of the conflicts.
Have one
And
next
then
to
somehow
2.
that's correct. So that's a 6. None of those are. And then this 3 here is going to go look over here and say 2 and 5 makes 7. I was struggling on my addition there for a second, but I
2 can't go
managed to
next to
pull through.
4.
And
3 can't go next to 6.
see any other conflicts anywhere? Oops, sorry about that. Eights are going to be one of those 3. I think that's useful,
In
but
row
I haven't found
7,
it.
you can't have 9 in the 9th position because that would leave 1 and 2 together.
Right. So that's a 1. We'll get a 2, 9 pair. Oh, 1, 4. Can't be another 4. Can't be a 6, and then that places a 9. There we go. Got that
The
digit to
9
go
and
away. 2, 9 there.
yeah.
What's left over in row 2? 7, 3, 8, 5, and 2 are all gone. Neither of those are 9s. And then this one isn't a 4 for 2 reasons. Doesn't look like I have any conflicts there otherwise. Let's fill in the rest of box 3 as well. 9, 8, 5, 2, and 3 are all gone. Neither of these are 6s, and this isn't 1 or 7. Laura Smith says 8 in column 8 has to be here, because it can't go up there or here. And then this one down there. And then that leaves 1, 4, and 7 as the remainder. This one takes that out.
4 can't go next to 8.
That's right. So that's a 7, and these aren't. And now 1, 4 pair is going to give us 6, 7 there. And Laura Smith confirms that one. The 6 is going to reflect over here to 2 and 6. 2 is going to say no 4s. And then that's going to go back over this way. 1 is going to get removed from this one as it comes back across. So let's see. These two are 4, 5, and 9, I think. And so this one, the 5, says no, and the 8 says no to the 4. So that's a 9, and this isn't. And then we've got, what, 4, 5, and 3 left over. And again, this can't be a 4, and the 5 already said no. So that's a 3, and this isn't. So then these 3 9, 2, 8, 7, 4, and 5 are all gone. 1, 3, and 6, and you can't have 3 and 6 next to each other, so 1 has to separate them. 2, 4, and 7, and again, 2 and 4 can't be next to each other, so 7 separates them. And then this 4 says no to that one, so this is 4, and this is 2. This isn't a 7, so we get a 5, 6 pair, giving us 7 and 1. 1 is gone for both of these, as well as 4. 1, 6, and 9 places 4. 2, 3, 5, and 6. 2, 3, 5, 6. 2 and 6 across the top row, and 3 and 6 across the third. 2, 5, 9, and 8, I think. So where's 8 here? Well, it's not in box 1, it's not in box 3. And then we've got these two saying it's not there. So there's our 8. Laura Smith says 4 dots with 2. That's correct. So that's a 5. That's 3, 9, 1, 5, 6, 9. 6 here. This one's 2, 3, and 5. 5, 4, and 6. 4, 5, 3, 6. I need a 1 in this box. It's not here or here, so that's a 1. Excuse me while I highlight the wrong cells. I still need a 2. It's not in the top row, and I need a 7 to finish the puzzle. Yeah. That was another good one. I was surprised by how restrictive these were. As Laura Smith pointed out earlier in the puzzle. Why it took me so long to think about how the twos interacted, I'm not sure. But we eventually started doing that, and then that led to lots of little discoveries here and there. So that one was a good one. That one flowed really nicely. Yeah. And then I also realized I had skipped over a message from Laura Smith earlier that was on the topic about interacting with people. Laura Smith said, create environments for interaction. Go to a park for a few hours, walk around Walmart, go to a coffee shop or library. Libraries tend to have events, and I have been going to events at the library. I went to an improv event a couple weekends ago, and that was lots of fun. I really enjoyed that. That one was a learn to do improv, so I actually participated in that one. The instructor there was really impressed with our tiny little group. There was 4 of us, including the instructor. But we played some improv games, so that was fun. Support your local library, folks. Go there, check out books, check out audiobooks. The Libby app is really great. There's also another app called Shoot. Well, it's not called Shoot. Let me look at my phone. It's called Hoopla. Hoopla is another library-powered app that has music and movies and comics and stuff, whereas Libby is more book-focused, I believe. But yeah. I have walked around Walmart before and had somebody interact with me. I went after work, so I had my collared shirt on from work, and so somebody asked me for help at Walmart, and I had to be like, "I'm sorry, I'm not a Walmart employee." I was wearing a red shirt too, so Walmart's color is blue. But anyway, that it ended up with a fun interaction. They told me some jokes that were decently funny, and walked away from that one as a positive interaction with people. But yeah, going to the park is a good one, although I still struggle to create reasons to interact with people at the park or at a coffee shop or a library when it's not like an event designed for interaction. Because if I don't have like a reason to like walk up to somebody, it's it's a struggle for me to be like, oh, we're both at the same place, and um, uh, so then what do I say to the person? But yeah, events are really good. In fact, this Sunday I'm also going to an event at the library to play some board games, which is I'm excited for. But yeah, I guess when it comes to like short interactions with other people, I don't struggle with those that much, because I don't care if I have those per se, because they feel very ephemeral and um uh not they don't lead to reducing the feelings of loneliness as much. Because I think when I'm looking for what I would consider meaningful interactions with other people, not that I'm opposed to interacting with people in a random uh, fashion. Um, what I am hoping to achieve by interacting with people in a more deliberate fashion is more long term connections. But Laura Smith says sometimes just being at the places is good enough. The more you go to the places, the more likely you are to interact. I complimented the haircut of one of our Walmart greeters a few weeks ago. Nice. But yeah, it's definitely one of the things as I've been looking into like what does friendship mean and how do you build friendship and stuff is it's a lot of it is proximity and time. So the more times you go to a place where there are other people, the more likely you are to be recognized by those other people, for people to find reasons to interact with you, and that stuff. And I guess there's a part of me that's like not patient enough for like building that proximity in time, and I want it to all go really fast. But yeah, it all starts with like little um, interactions, and so there's a part of me that feels distressed that a long term connection starts with a short term connection, and the short term stuff is the part that I struggle with the most, um, and often feel is very interchangeable in a way that is doesn't feel meaningful. Um, but yeah. But yeah, definitely go to places where there are people doing things that are interesting. Is the um is the general advice that I have found. But yeah, joining Discords. Discords are great. Um, and because there is Facebook groups, Discord groups, meetup groups for all kinds of different activities. Board game events are super popular everywhere. There's walking groups, hiking groups, um, and book clubs and all kinds of things. There's definitely um, places to go, um, and uh, it can be a struggle to find the niche, as I've found recently. It's been a struggle for me to find the right niche that I want to fit into, to have those interactions. But one of the things I've been trying to wrap my head around is the idea that I don't have to do more than just show up, and that all I have to do is just be present, and that leads to greater interactions and connections over time. And so the time part is the thing that I feel I distress over a lot. Um, but yeah. Anyway, um, yeah. Laura Smith says just showing up is the most important. It definitely is. Um, Yeah, and not um not worrying too much about some of the um things about like bothering people and what else are things that I irrationally think that like I'm bothering people or that I'm annoying or other like little things. For the most part, like people they might think about it in the moment, like, oh, that was a little annoying or awkward or whatever, but like they'll stop thinking about it 10 minutes later. The exercise that I usually try to do whenever I feel those feelings of like, oh, I was a little too awkward or maybe I was annoying that time is just sort of like, think about the last time that you were actually like remembered somebody else being awkward or annoying or whatever in a way that was just like super minor. Like if somebody's like annoying by like um in like a harassment style way, then that's usually um like a problem, but usually that's a problem that like is clear um or at least usually people show more negative reactions if you're being problematic in that way. Um but if it's just sort of like gosh, I wish that person wasn't around, usually that's not a thing that people think for very long. So um yeah. Um I think that's all the thoughts I have on that one. Any thing you have to add, Mama, before we go on to our
No,
next puzzle?
this
All
puzzle.
right. Yeah. All right. Whispering Entropy by Zogan Denji. Let me get the link in the chat and then I'll read the rules. And the link is in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. And I have it saved in my notes, so I will immediately mess things up. Anyway, Whispering Entropy by Zogan Denji. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Entropic Whispers. Every green line in the grid is both a valid German whisper and a valid entropic line. German whisper lines are adjacent digits along the line must differ by at least 5, and entropic lines are any sequence of 3 digits along the line must have a low, medium, and high digit. Low digits are 1, 2, and 3, mediums are 4, 5, and 6, and high digits are 7, 8, 9. For a 2-cell line, the digits are from different sets. Although we know that for sure from the German whisper rule. But I'll get into that later. Crocky dots. Digits in cells joined by a white dot are consecutive. Digits in cells joined by a black dot are in a 1:2 ratio. One digit will be double the other. And dynamic fog. Entering a correct digit may reveal fog elsewhere in the grid. No guessing is required. Let's get started. So one of the things, if I look at these lines here, is that I know that I have to have a middle digit somewhere. And because the line extends into the fog, then I cannot put 4 or 6 on either of these two places. So I'm going to have 4 or 6 here. 1 or 9 will be from the other set, so then I will just simply have to have 1, 2, or 3, or 7, 8, 9, although it won't be... Well, yeah, it could be from 1 or 9. So that I'm not going to place, but we have that there. These two and those two have to be from different sets.
Well, in
I'm
box
gonna...
1, the 5 has to be in column 3. Box 3, the
Right.
5 has to be in column, yeah.
a negative constraint is not stated explicitly in this one. So unless we run into no property dots, then we'll know that that's just not relevant at the moment.
Well, since since it has to start with a 4 or 6, which is from the center,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's going to have to go to either a high or a low.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's also have to go to a high or a low.
Right.
Then it's have to
Oh,
go back to a center. That's 4, 6,
right. So then
and 1,
these
9.
interesting. And so these two are going to be the same, and then those two are going to be the same. And then these two will be next to red, so they're the same, and then these two will also be the same. And so we've got green and yellow going across the middle there. Maybe I shouldn't have picked green and yellow, but it is what it is. But that means I don't have 1 or 9 to go in here.
2, 3, 7, 8.
Yeah, 2, 3, 7, 8. But that means this has to be 4, 5, and 6. And that's also going to be true over
Well,
here.
okay, row 1, column 7 cannot be 4 or 6. It has to be the 5
Oh, right. And
or
that's also
6
going to be
pair.
true on both of
Yeah.
these.
4, 6
Red
goes to 1
and
or 9,
blue. I take
and that 4,
all of the
6 is not
coloring out.
blue.
Actually,
It's
wait a
yellow.
second. Oh, right. Next to blue must be green. Next to red must be yellow. Well, this has to be 3 or 7 to be adjacent to a 4 or 6, because it's not a 5. This one is a 5, though. And now this, well, it's just going to be from the opposite root as the 1 or 9. Laura Smith says, we have a dot. We definitely do. Right. So,
There's also a black dot in column 5.
there is. If this is from 3 or 7, that's going to pair with this having 3 or 7, so this remainder has to be 2 or 8. But I don't think that tells us anything about this one or that one for now. And I don't think we know anything about this meaningfully.
No.
We know that this is in the middle. So one of these has to be 4 or 6. So we're going to have red as one of those two, and blue as one of those two. So then 1, 9 is a requirement there. But is it on both of them? Yes, because these, you couldn't do 4, 1, 6, because 4 requires a 9 and 6 requires a 1. So they have to be like that. Laura Smith says those green lines are at least 3 long, but could be longer in box 5. Well, they can't be. Well, they could be longer. As in, like this, if this was red, it could put a blue here. As well, actually, no, it couldn't put a blue here. Because we know that, because they're 3 long, and it's an entropic line, it's going to have a digit from 4 and 6. So one of these three is from 4 and 6. We know it's not the middle one, so it has to be one of the two on the ends. And it's not both of them. So let's say this one is red. Then on this one, I need to have a blue digit. Well, it's already not there, and it can't be the middle one, so it would have to be this one. Yeah, it could extend into the box. Like, it could go... Well, no. And to prove that it can't go blue, 1919, red, well, I've already got two 19s, so it can't do something like these two did.
Row 3, column 4.
Row 3, column 4.
It could be 2, 3, 7, or 8.
We need a 3 or a 7 on this one, because we know in here, wherever I place the 3, it's going to have to be partnered with 8. So the other is 2 or 7.
Okay,
so
yeah, you're
this
right.
means that it has to have a 3 or a 7 on it, which is going to pair with this one to make that a 2 or 8. I could have probably made that clearer when I initially said that that was 2 or 8.
No, I think it was at the time, and then I got sidetracked, and it's like, well, wait a minute.
It's hard to hold all of the logic in the at the same time. It's one of the reasons I stopped thinking that calculators should be banned in school, in math classes, because at a certain point, like, there's only so many things you can hold in your head at a point in time. But I guess it's more it's less about the calculators and more about just simply, in school everyone should have access to their notes. That's the thing that I think is important. If I say this is orange, then I know that those two are orange. These two are then going to be gray. Laura Smith says the black dot in column 5 is not 1 or 2 because it's not because of the 1, 9 here. But it could still be 2 and 4. Oh. 4, 6 has to be here and here. So it then has to go across this way. So what we know is that this one is 4 or 6. And then on here, we have 4 or 6. So the 6 either pairs with the 3, and the 4 would pair with 2 or 8. Ended up putting all of the possibilities on there, which I didn't want to, but I guess we're going to leave it as like that. I would kind of prefer that this was 3, 6, because then that would give us a 7 here. But yeah, Laura Smith says, not super restricted yet, so we need more information. Let's see, where can we go from here?
Yeah, that's just 2, 3, 7, 8.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything we can think about it, but because this is from two different sets, from the
Right.
entropic group, this one we know is from a different group. But so that if this is a 2, then this is 7 or 8, and if this is an 8, then that's 2 or 3, but that doesn't really help us. Although, if this is a 2, then this is 3, 8, which means this is a 7. So if that's a 2, that's a 7. Which means if this is a 2, then this would be an 8. And then if this was 8, you'd have 2, 7, so that would be a 3. And if this is an 8, then that would be from 2 or 3, but that would be the 3, so then that would be 2. So that just ended up being a 2-8. And now this is 3 or 7. Huh. Very interesting. But that takes off 3 and 6 as a possibility, so we know that has to be 4 as one of those, and there's a 6. And we know that that's right because this opened up. Laura Smith says 5 in box 5 has to be one of these two, and it's not the one on the left because this whisper line, which we just revealed, looks into this box. So we get a 5 here. Now, we may not necessarily learn anything from every digit we add. Because like this 6 down here didn't reveal anything quite yet. 2, 4, or 8. But one of these 3 has to be from 4 or 6. And it's not the middle one.
No, that's just 2 or 8, not 2, 4, or 8, because the 4 has to go in box 8.
Right. One of these 3 has to be from 4 or 6, and it's not the middle, and it's not the one on the right, because we already have both of them in there. So this one is from 4 or 6, but we don't know if it's red or blue just yet. But we do know that the one that's in this group has to be blue.
Well, the
We don't know
4,
which
6
side
has
of
to
it
be
is.
next to 1, 9, and the green
Right.
1, 9 is in the column. So that's
Right. So
yellow.
then yellow,
It
well,
has to
not
be
that
next
one.
to red.
So then this one is blue, which we know is one of those two. I don't think I'll mark it. Those are consecutive. Where's 5? Not there, not here, not on the whisper line. So that's 5. Paired with 4 or 6, and that ends up being blue. So then this is a blue 4 or 6, and then this is 1 or 9 and green. But then that means that this one ends up being our blue 4, 6. Red is next to yellow, blue is next to green. Two, 3, 7, and 8 left over. Laura Smith says more 5s. Boxes 7, 6, and 8. So this 5 says no to that and there, and we know this one is on a whisper line.
And there's a 5 in the column.
Right, which would have been a little easier. So 5 is one of those two. I don't know if we can learn anything else. A couple 5s in columns 5 and 6 means 5 is one of those 3. I don't know if we learn anything else there, but then the 5s in rows 4 and 5 take out those. So we get 5s here, and then I missed the 5 in column 7. We get a pair there. Let's see. Well, they want us to look at this. What does that tell us? Well, what are the options? We know that 5 is neither of these, 6 is neither of these, and this one's not a 5, as I added 6
Well,
back for some reason.
column 2
4 and
has 1,
6.
9, 4, and 6.
So 2, 3, 7, 8. 1 and 9 is also out of column 3. But if this is a 2, then it would go to a 3, and then 4. But if this was a 3, it would have to go to 2, and then that would break. So this isn't a 3, and I don't think it could be a 2 either, because 2 would go to 3, which would go to nothing. So then that would have to be a 4. And if this is a 7-8 pair, then this couldn't be a 7-8 pair, so this has to be a 4. Because 6 isn't allowed, and neither is 9. So 4 and 6. So 6, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. 6s. In these spots, 6s are blue, 4s are red. I don't like the fact that the fog isn't going away because it feels like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, box
I'm
7, the 4
confident.
goes to 3. Goes to 2.
3, 7,
Yeah,
8.
that is somewhat disturbing, isn't it?
Yep. I will get over it though, because all of my green digits are 1s, all of my yellow digits are 9s. And 1 goes to 8, and a 2. A 7 pairs with a 2. Then we get 3, 8, 2, 7.
Yeah, the
2,
fog
7,
is still not clearing
3,
at all.
7.
Something.
It's just to cause this anxiety. Otherwise we have done something
Okay.
horribly wrong, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just to cause this anxiety. Because this 6 did reveal stuff, but didn't reveal
Yeah.
its own location. So the dynamic fog is just here to disturb us.
6 to 1 to 7 or 8 in box 5.
Box 5, yes, 7, 8. But 7, because there's already an 8 in the column, so 7 there, 8 here. All it means is that all of the information we have is in front of us. 2, 3 pair gives us 7. And we could always check with the check mark. Looking good so
Well,
far.
and the 2, 3, they're in column 3 on the green. It
Mhm.
has to go too high.
I think this is just a 7, 8 pair to finish the
Yeah.
box. 5
5,
and
9.
9. 2, 3, and 8. This one's not an 8. This one's not a 2. Laura Smith says 9 whispers to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. That's a 3. That's a 2. That's an 8. 4 and 2. 2 and 3. Apparently, there's still more we can learn. 2, excuse me. 6, 1, 8, 2, 7, and 4 gives us 3, 5, and 9. Then this one, 3, 5, 9, 2, 4, and 6, 7, and 8. That doesn't give us information. Okay, 1s are green, 6s are blue, 4s are red, 9s are yellow. I'm going to take out the orange and gray coloring.
All right, row 4 is left with 1, 3, and 6.
1 and 6 are gone.
Row 5 is left with 2, 4, and 9.
And 4, 9 pair gives us a 2. And then that is what we
Yay!
needed. All right.
Oh,
Happy
4
faces everywhere.
cannot go on the elbow there.
That's a 9. That's a 4. What's left over
9
here?
goes to 8 across the white crop key.
7, 5. 3 and 8 here. A 1, not a 1. Okay. So here we need 4 or 6 somewhere, and it can't be a 4. So this one has to be 6. 3 and 6. So then this one's a 1. And then this is from 7, 8, or 9. It's not an 8.
Not 9 either, 5, 9 in the row.
Right. So 7, 8, 7, 2, and 7. This digit is just simply a 9. And then 4s are red, 9s are yellow, 1s are green, and 6s are blue. Then we get 8 and 7, not a 9. Okay, these two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
3 and
6,
8.
7. And the 8 here gives us 3 and 8. 5, 9, 3, 5, 9. I need a 2. I need a 4. And Ones are green, nines are yellow, red, fours are red, sixes are blue, and then the final digit is a 5. Thanks for solving. This is my second Sudoku puzzle construction. I welcome all feedback, good or bad. That is an incredible second puzzle. I think, at least.
Yes.
Um,
And that the fog not disappearing, there's still a fog on 3 and 8 unless you have that as gray.
I thought I'd remove the coloring, but I guess I did not.
It's like, why is
But
there
yeah,
still fog?
but yeah, no, yeah, that was definitely very anxiety inducing. Like, did I do something wrong? I don't want to do anything wrong. But yeah, no, it's just
Especially
I
with
don't know.
fog of war.
Yeah, yeah, that one was fun. Let's see, is this one on Logic Masters Germany? And it is. Um, Solution code is row 9. Copy and paste. I am going to say that was a very nice puzzle, even if it caused me anxiety. Um, I because
It really wasn't very difficult
yeah,
because of the
you're directed on where you're supposed to look. Um, and excuse me, I think the trickiest thing to spot was the fours and sixes in here had and how they had to be placed, and what consequences that led to, and then also leading down to here, and then how that led to what was going on in here. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That one was a very interesting puzzle. Would I call it an easy puzzle? I mean, I click easy as my first instinct. Um, yeah, I would say that's on the easier side of puzzles that I've.
were other people stressed by the
Let's see, what are the comments on here? Very good use of the restrictions together with the fog mechanic. Good fun, thanks. Very fun puzzle. Here's the logic, anyhow. Other than the rest of all other puzzles in Launch
just
Masters
us.
Germany, I think. You are the new star in the scene. Thank you. Um, Me, I thought it was a bit harder than 1 star. Very fun puzzle. This is my first ever puzzle. Very fun to solve. Thank you. And then this is really fun. A bit of coloring for flavor and some fun deductions from the interaction between the line constraints, but easy enough to be very relaxing. So thanks for the puzzle. Yeah, it seems that people didn't feel a need to comment on it, at least if they felt it at all. But yeah, I yeah, I think we're gonna have time for one more. So let's go ahead and tackle Entropic Toast. I'm gonna go ahead and get the link in the chat, and then I'll read the rules. All right, and why do I have calculator open? How long had that been there? Anyway, Entropic Toast by Nyx. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Entropic. Any sequence of 3 digits along a line must have a low digit 1, 2, 3, a medium digit 4, 5, 6, and a high digit 7, 8, 9. Digits may repeat on a line if allowed by other rules. And fog. Fog appears in the grid. Placing correct digits may clear the fog. Constraints regions. Each of the following constraint type may contain no repeated digits anywhere in the puzzle. For example, if one killer cage contains a 5, then no other killer cage may contain a 5. Difference croppy dots. Digits in cells joined by a white dot are consecutive. Not all dots are given. Oh, I think constraints regions is just... Wait, no, I'm confused. Each of the following constraint type may contain no repeated digits anywhere in the puzzle. And then EG is an example, so ignore that one for a second. So difference crop dots. Digits in cells joined by a white dot are consecutive. Not all dots are given, but we know that there are no duplicates across the dots. Ratio crop dots. Digits in cells joined by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio, i.e. one digit will be double the other. Not all dots are given. X's, digits in cells joined by an X sum to 10, not all X's are given. V's, digits in cells joined by a V sum to 5, not all V's are given. And killer, digits in a killer cage behave like digits along Renban purple lines. Digits inside a killer cage form a set of consecutive digits in any order. Interesting. Laura Smith says, so if one black dot is 1, 2, no other black dot is 1, 2. Or 2, 4, because you can't repeat the 2, is my understanding of the
that's the way
rules.
I'm reading it too.
Yeah. It is just not the entropic line. The entropic line has other, is allowed to repeat. And Tall Cat says, yep, that is correct. Cool. So it does sound like we are on the same page, and standard otherwise. And Tall Cat, how are you doing this evening? Let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I see is that this region and this region and that region are 9. And because this is a group of 4, this is a group of 4, and that's a single digit, the way you can slide those across the number line of 1 through 9 in order to avoid repeats, and the groups of 4 have to be a consecutive set, you can either have 1 through 4 and 5 through 8, leaving a 9, or you can slide the higher group up to take the 9, and then that would reveal 5 as a possibility, and then you move the lower group up 1 to reveal 1 as a possibility. But that's all that this one could be. Laura Smith confirms that one.
The Kropke in row 1 could be 2, 4, 3, 6, or 4, 8. To keep them in separate entropic.
I think this one has to be 3, 6, because this one are going around here.
Right.
Because we know that these two digits are not the same, means that we're going to have 2 or 4 in the middle, and then 1, 2, 4, 8 around the outside. Now you can't put a 1 here, because if you did, you'd have 2 on both sides. But then that's going to take up 2 and 4, and then this wouldn't have the possibility. So that's going to have to be 3, 6.
Okay, so that the row 1, column 5, it's going to have to be either low or mid, so it can't be a 9.
Yeah, these two are the same, and they have to be from 7, 8, 9. So this one's from 1, 2, or 3. And I
It can't
did
be 3.
notice that we have, excuse me, that V does not count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 10s, so that is all of the 10s we're allowed to have. And as Mom said, that's not a 3 because of the 3, 6 pair here. And Laura Smith says that we can color the line.
Yeah, and as Hellcat says, the X resolves the 3, 6 pair in box 3.
Oh, right, because we've got low digit, a high digit. And then that means this
Mid.
one is the middle, and then this one is low. 3 and 6. Low. And then we got middle is 5, and low. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then blue, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Alright, those are all the blue. And then shift over 1, and that's going to give us yellows. And again, we shift over 1, and we get red. Now, I don't necessarily want to start marking highs and lows, but I do notice that this one has a high digit in it, which means it has to be 6, 7, 8, 9, where this one is the 6, because it's a middle digit. And so this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, but 4 is a middle digit, so it goes on the yellow. And this 3 looks down and says there, so let's go ahead and mark these as red, yellow, blue.
And the other X in, yeah, V is 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah.
4 and 1 get removed.
The X in column 9 between boxes 6 and 9.
7, 8, 9 is a red digit going to another red digit, 7, 8, 9.
But it can't be 9.
Right. This could be a 6, so we don't know its color quite yet. Tall Cat says the X in box 7 has to be
Right.
4 or 6 on both sides. And so this one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. But I don't know. The white dot resolves. So this has to be 1, 2, or 3, and then be consecutive with a 4. 4 and 1, so then this one is blue. And so yeah, and then Tall Cat
The white
pointed
dot.
this one out
Yeah.
just to make sure that
You
I
want to finish the white
acknowledge.
dot?
Oh, I sure should. That is a 3. um. Uh. 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 Anyway, Laura Smith said row 1. So we have a 1, 2 pair here, and we have a 4. That is definitely finished, and 7, 8, 9. But yeah, I wanted to go back to this 10 right here. Because it doesn't have a 3, we know that it's not 3, 7. The 6 and then the 4, 6 over here means that's not 4, 6, but I already have 1, 2, 8, 9. So this one has to be 3, 7 because I'm not allowed to repeat on the 10s because the constraints regions rule. 7 then has to go to 8, and so then this one's a 9, which is a red digit. This one is not a 3. So 1, 2 pair says no to that. 2, 4, 8. 8,
Can't go 8, 4, 2. That same
2,
direction.
4, 8. 8's gone. 8 is red, 4 is yellow, and 2 is blue. 1 or 3. Either of those is red. But this could be a 6, and so could that one. If this was a 6, that would be 5 or 7, which is okay. 7, 9, 4, 5, 5 or 6. 4, 5, or 6. Oh, not a 4 because of that. And I didn't mean to say 3 was a possibility. 1, 2, 3, 79. 79 here. Tall Cat says if row 4, column 5 was blue, it would have to have blue next to it. 1, 2, 3, because it couldn't go to 4. And so you'd have, well, you wouldn't be able to use 2. So that just simply wouldn't work at all. But also you'd have 4 blue digits. So then that means this is a yellow 6, and then this one is our blue 1, 2, or 3. And then 6 goes to 5 or 7. But we do not know what color that is, because 5 is yellow and 7 is red. this one cannot be yellow, which we knew ahead of time. But either of those can be. And there's nothing connected to those to make things happen. So, well, that one's not red. So one of those two is red. Yeah. Tallcat says 4 and 6 in the middle band can be finished. Are you saying in row 5? Because we know we don't have 4s here. That one, 4 in boxes 4 and 6. So 4 is out of here and there, and then none of these can be 4. So that's a 4. And 6 in here. This one says no to that, and this one says no to that one. So then we get a 6 there. Okay. Yeah, I just didn't think that through all the way. Now that makes sense now that I think about it. But yeah, it's the complicated part of language is it doesn't always map exactly between the way that two people use their use words. Laura Smith says 6 in box 9 is not here, and then this 6 says it's not there. So those two 6s, give us a 6 as one of these two, and then this 6 says it's not the top one. So that's a 6 there. 6 is still one of those two in box 8. I'm interested to know.
Box 1, you can place the 6.
So it's none of these. It's going to have to be here. I'm interested to know what could be hiding behind this. It's got to be something cosmetic. Laura Smith says a 6 in box 1, which it confirms what Mum said. Let's see. This red still doesn't have 7, 8, or 9 on it, just for funsies. And we've got 5, 7, 8, 9 left over in this box. 9's not those. This one's not 7. 5, 7, 8, 9. 5, 7, 8, 9. This is 1 or 3, so that's blue. Oh, this says it's going to have to be a yellow 5. Okay, so that can't be, and that can't be. So this one is yellow. 5 or 6.
Yeah. All right, the other end of that entropic line, if it's low, it's a 3.
Mm-hmm.
If it's high, it's 7 or 9.
I think it's just 3, 7, 9 to finish that row. Where else should we be looking? Excuse me. I do see that we've got 3s lined up to give us a 3 as one of those two, but that's not that helpful. Laura Smith says the 4 in box 9. It's not there, and it's not this one. This 4 says it's not here, that 4 says it's not there. So it's one of these two. Do I see 4s up here? Finding anything up? I don't think so. Could be wrong. Tall Cat says row 7, column 3 is naked. So it's not 2, 3, it's not 4, 6, and it's not 7, 8, or 9. And then there's a 5 above it to say it's not a 5, so that's only a 1. Which is
which
blue.
is low. So those two in box 7 or box 8 are both mid.
4, 5, 6, and this one's a 4. That one's not. Laura Smith says the 4 in box 2, now that we have these two 4s, says nothing, or says it's not here, so that's going to be there. Now we have 4 going across this way, and this 4 says no to that. What else?
In box 1, column 3 is left with a low and a high.
3, 7, 8, 9.
So for column 2, we need a low and a mid. So that means that there is a
This one's the
high.
last high digit. Okay, Tall Cat says, oh, the white dot in box 4 can't have a 3 on it because it would repeat 3 on a white dot, which is repeated
Row 9.
row 9. So then that gives us 1. I had
And next to
forgotten about
6,
that.
there's already a 7 on a white dot in row 7.
So that's 5.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a big rule. Forgetting. Laura Smith says row 9. And Tallcat says helps when you remember all of the rules. Lol. Yeah, definitely got to remember all the rules. What are Laura Smith says row 9. What are you seeing in row 9? Oh, looking for the dot. Yes. We got a 2 down here, so that gives us a 1 and a 2, and not a 2. Yeah, I'd remembered the rule for the 10s and the
Yeah.
black dots here, but then the white dots completely forgot about it.
Well, is there anything else we're missing on that?
I don't think so. I don't see any other dots at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there can't be any more dots. And this is the only V I saw. And we've already looked at the 10s, so, and the cages. So unless anything else I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
1, 2, 7, 9. That one's not 2. But one of those is a low digit, the other is a high digit. 8, 9, excuse me, Laura Smith says 8, 9 pair in column 9. I do have an 8, 9 pair. I should be marking this as high digits, and actually that means this one's 5 here. But then we look down this way. 7, 8, 9 is all taken care of, so is 6 and 3, and this one's not a 4. Where else are we missing? Okay, I need one more high digit in this column. It has to be one of those two. And then I've already got two low digits. I need one more middle and one more low, but I don't know where it's going to be. Tall Cat says the 8 in column 2 has to be in box 7. So one of those two is an 8, so it's neither of those. Okay, what I should be looking at is these two
Oh,
tens. They're 1,
6
2,
can
and
be
8, 9.
placed in column 4.
6 in column 4 is not in box is 8 or 5, and then not in row 3. And obviously not a 2, so there's a 6. And that gave us a 7 suddenly. So 8, 9 pair gives us a 5. Laura Smith says 6 in box 2, which I think confirms what Mum said. Got an 8, 9 pair, which is going to mean this is a 1, 2 pair, I think. Because I've already got 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this 7 is red, so yeah, I need 2 blue digits to finish that out. This is a 3. 4 and 5 is yellow. This is also going to be yellow, 4 or 5. But it already sees a 5, so that's 4, that's 5, that's 4. 5 is going to be one of those two. And then we've got, well, 7 and 9 is red, and that's going to pair with another red digit, so that this is a low 1 or 2, but it already sees a 2, so that's a 1. This isn't that. This is 1, that's 9, 8, 7, 9, 2, 1. Not 9's here. This one isn't a 1, so it's a high digit. With the other high digit here, so this is 3. So that isn't a high digit. Those are a 1, 2 pair. Red, 2, 1 here. This one's low.
Row 8, the 2, 8.
Takes the 8 out of this one. And then this is 8. That's 9. That's 7. That's a 9. Those aren't. That is 7 and 9 here. Not a 9. 7, 8 pair. Takes both of those out. 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. 2, 8. Red and blue. 1, 2, 3. 9, 3. Blue and red. What else? I'm missing a 1, which isn't here. I'm also missing 7 and 9, which 7 can't be either of those. So that's 7. So then this one's our red 9, our blue 1. And then I need 2, which isn't either of those two. Then that's 5 is one of these two. Then I need 7, which is going to be that one. 2, 5, 2, and blues, yellows, reds, and a finally red 8. Here we go. Right on time. Alright, that one was fun. I, moderately upset that I had forgotten about the, no repeating on the rules, because that was important here and on these two tens. Which I had remembered that those had to be different early in the puzzle, but then forgotten to like pay attention to what that means for this cell, which sees all of those. In fact, it sees all of these too. So this one had to be a middle digit right away. But yeah, it definitely happens to everyone. It is always a good idea if you get stuck to put in your Sudoku digits or reread the rules. But yeah, and the juggler says, GG, good to see you as well. Hope you're doing well this evening. In fact, how are you doing this evening? Although we are about to hop off. So that is a Tropic Toast, which does not seem to be on Logic Masters Germany, but I will see if I can find the author name by putting in Nix, but I'm not seeing it here. Glad to hear you're doing pretty okay. Yeah, all right. So I just need to copy this link into my notes so I have it in as the link to go to from, excuse me, the video description. But with that, that is all the time we have for today. Um, so yeah, so thank you to those who were in chat today. You were very helpful in solving the puzzles. And I want to go to the stream end. And for everyone who watches this back, thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you want to see more content on the channel, there's a notification bell that you can ring, which is supposed to give you notifications. I've been hearing it doesn't work all the time. So if you want to know when I stream, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is Sudoku. Wednesdays around 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time is single player games. Currently playing through the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 um, on hard mode now. And then on Saturdays at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I've been playing cooperative games, currently Dying Light 2. But yeah, you can also share the video, and there is also a donation link in the description down below if you do feel so inclined. But with that, I think that is all the things that I have, so I will see you next time.